Okay, YouTube. Hope you guys are having a good day today. This is Sunday, and I'm here to try and replace my clutch. I believe I have a faulty pilot bearing. So I asked one of my friends that's a Mercedes mechanic, what should I do once I get this thing out? Should I just replace the part that's broken? He told me, well, you know, if you're going to go that far, you might as well replace the whole thing, meaning the clutch and everything else. So that's what I did. I ordered from Rock Auto. So I got, let's see, still in the box. Haven't even checked the parts out yet. If I may get to it. A lot of stuff here. As you can see there, one box, get the clutch assembly in there. That's just the holes right there for, I know it's not very clear, I'm sorry guys, but yeah, you see that Rock Auto box, and the next to it is the slave cylinder. I have already replaced the master cylinder on this car. There's a video on it. Not very difficult. So today we're going to go into this, yeah, into the wild. First time doing a clutch job. Watch some instruction about it. Read upon it, ask people around, and yeah. So I'm over here at my friend's shop, but unfortunately I'm not going to be able to use his lift because the car that's up there right now is not moving at all. So I'm going to be forced to do it on the ground, which I was trying to avoid. But yeah, so I already started trying to remove the drive shaft. Alright, as you can see, there goes the drive shaft. So I already got 3 of the bolts removed. Oh, is it? Yeah, 3. Just one more left, and I'm gonna bring it down and pull it out from the other side there. I mean the transmission side, and yeah, put that to the side, and then we're gonna climb in the truck and we're gonna remove the shifter. Yeah, we're gonna remove the shifter, and then probably the I already unhooked the battery because I'm gonna deal with the starter. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. I don't want to make it too lengthy of a job because it's the first time. You know, sometimes you run into problems. So I want to take advantage of the daylight as much as possible. It's about 12 right now, so I got about 7 hours, give or take, of daylight. So I'm not going to be able to film everything. So I'm just going to do things and shoot a short clip, give you little tips maybe along the way. But yeah, that's the best that I can do today, guys. I'm sorry. All right, see you on the next shot now. Okay guys, got this thing down now. Wasn't a big deal. Basically, once it's off of that side right here, you have to probably, if it is been there from the start, you probably have to use the hammer a little bit, tap it to break off some of the rust, some of the binding there. And basically, yeah, once you get it out of there, you just basically pull it towards yourself, you know, away from the transmission, and there you have it. So there you go. Here goes a yoke. I was thinking of replacing what you call it, the U-joints, but you know, I was doing a timing belt job a couple of days ago, and I was trying to replace one of the seals, even though it wasn't leaking, but just because it wasn't in the kit, so I was trying to replace it. Man, it took me about 2 hours almost to put the seals back in there. That's how tight it was, and actually ended up ruining one of the seals. Even though I was using a big socket around it and everything correct way, you know, it was a heck of a job. So lesson I've learned: if it ain't broke, don't fix it. All right, guys. So yeah, you got the drive shaft out. So now I'm gonna go ahead and take out the what you call it, the starter. That's the next issue. Let's keep track of your bolts now. This you don't want to lose. As a matter of fact, this shop, as you can see, is very messy. That's my man's shop. It's like a little shop, you know. He's been nice enough to let me work here. So I'm just gonna look for, man. Okay, there you go. I got this little thing, container. I'm gonna put my bolts right up in there. Boom. Matter of fact, bring him around here and put him in the back of the truck, in the bed. Boom, right there. So, exit shoot. Come here, creeper. We're gonna have to jack this truck a little bit. Where is that starter? It's supposed to be around here somewhere. There goes a shot of the yoke. For some reason, let me see. Why am I not getting the... Okay, alright, let's go underneath. I'm going to show you guys something quickly there. So we got the, where am I? We got the, alright. Right here, if you can see it. I'm not sure if I can give you guys a correct shot here. Well, anyway, this is the starter. Just took it out. 3 bolts, 13 millimeter. Actually, so far, anything that has to do with the transmission itself is 13 millimeter. Like the bolts around the transmission, the housing that is bolted onto the block, all of them are 13 millimeter. The 4 bolts holding the drive shaft to the what you call it, gearbox. What is it? But anyway, you know what I'm talking about, right there in the back. Those bolts are 12 millimeter. The bolts on this bracket right here, you see this bracket right here in the middle of your screen, where the transmission, the back of the transmission is resting on this bracket, those also are 13 millimeter. So get ready for your 13s, man. Get your impact or something, because those bolts are kind of tight, especially the bracket ones. Everything else is okay. I mean, you can use a regular wrench. That's what I've been using, and the ratchet wrench. You know, you get on those tight spots so you can get the things easier. What else I got to do here? I got to kind of jack the back of this thing, I believe. I'm going to support the back of this transmission. And I'm going to take off this bracket that you see right here. I'm not sure if I take it off. Well, that's the only thing supporting the back of the transmission. It makes sense that I should definitely have to support it. I'm not sure, maybe there's some other securing method on top. I'm not seeing, but you know, I'm just going to support it just to be safe. And I'm going to take off this bracket and I'm going to get back with you and we'll keep trucking, man. Alright, so as promised, took off 3 bolts here on the side and the bracket is off. So now you see the back of the transmission. These 2 bolts right here, I will suggest you take these 2 first. These are 18 millimeter bolts. I mean, not bolts, nuts. 18 millimeter right here. Take those 2 first, then take the ones on the side, the 13 millimeters last. 3 on each side, so it'll make it just a little bit easier. There's also this, I guess, exhaust pipe, what you call it again, bracket, I guess. Anyway, so the one is 19 millimeter, it's sitting right there, so you're gonna have to take that one off also. So now we got the transmission basically being held on by the jack that I put for support. I don't have a, I mean, they do have a transmission jack in the shop, but you know, what's the point of it? That's like the tall one, which you can't fit underneath the car, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to just wrestle with this transmission and bring it down. As wish me fortune here. I don't know. But anyway, so I'm gonna go in there and knock. What I gotta do now? Take the 13 millimeters all around the housing, take them off, and trying to bring down this transmission. And I'll catch you on the next shot. I forgot a crucial step. That's to remove that thing right there. The shifter has to be removed. So, yeah, let's get into that. Oh my God. This is an exhausting job. Alright, well, my shifter has that. These knob, the knob is held on by, I don't know if you can see that, it's pretty tight there. Focus right here. Focus right here. Alright, focus right there. See that? Alright. It's pretty small, Alan. You get the picture. So anyway, I'm going to remove that. Then I'm going to take this thing off of it. And I'm going to remove this base. And then this base is held on by what again? Let me see here. This base is held on by something that I can't quite see yet, but I'll figure it out. And I'll let you know once I figure it out. I can't quite see it yet. I don't know. But once I get to that point, I'll get back in here and I'll show you what happens here. So just to help you guys out when you do this job. I mean, it seems like a lot, but honestly, if you have a weekend to do this, I think you know it's not that big of a deal. Hopefully, okay. All right, be back once I remove this entire assembly, and I'll give you some tips and whatever I go through. All right, so we got it loose. Simple operation. Basically, what you want to do. Let me put it back and show you how it sits. Sorry about that. All right. So it goes like that. All the way in. And this thing, this bolt right here is supposed to be on the side, right? But you got this flat surface right there, which is basically locking it in place. So basically you want to twist it, like turn it one turn, and then it'll line up with some type of slot, and then you could just pull it out on the side. That's why you threading the bolt, you're taking it out from the right side, and you're threading the bolt onto the left side until you make a turn. When the bolt turns, I mean the nut. When you thread the nuts on the left side of this bolt and the bolt turns, you can just push it with your finger and it'll come out on the left side. Once that comes out, easy peasy, just grab it, pull it up. Wow, man. Alright, so we got that. Just gonna put it right here. And now we're free. I don't have to actually take off this part right here, I don't think. Essentially, I can leave this part inside of here. I think so. I think this is the only thing that was holding it together, if I'm not mistaken, because whatever's holding this piece, I'm thinking these right here, they don't even look like anything. That's how rusty they are inside. If they are screws, they are completely rusted out. So I'm not sure I'm going to be able to take those off. If I can't, hopefully it'll be able to come off. And essentially it is, you know, it's just a rod, so I don't think it's going to be blocked by anything going down. Though I can't see, but I'm just going to try. If it doesn't work because something else I need to take off, I'll come back and address that. But as far as I'm concerned, this was it. I'm going back down and take out the bolt. That is bolts that are mating the transmission housing to the block. All right, here we go. After much struggle, we got this big boy out, and honestly, look at what I made. Look at this freaking mess. You know what the lesson is? Drain the freaking fluid before you do this job. You know, the back tilted a little bit and everything just poured out, and then I lost it. It just fell on me, man. I was wrestling with it like a freaking alligator. So anyway, look at the pool right there, right? I gotta clean out all this mess, okay? But on the plus side, I should say, yeah, this bearing is pretty. Yeah, pretty. I mean, it definitely needs replacing. I already got the kit for that. So I'm gonna take a break. Then when I come back, I'm gonna clean out just slightly around here. It doesn't matter because it's gonna get dirty anyway. I'm gonna take this out, replace it with the new one. This is kind of alright. I can even check the clutch now. Look at that. Where I'm gonna lay. It's all now freaking oil, and now I can't even move anywhere until my man brings me some oil. I mean some fluid, transmission fluid, to put in here. So even if I put everything back together, I still gotta wait for him to come here. So I can put 2.8 quarts of. Oh man. Anyhow, so, but wasn't too bad, was it? Not too bad. Definitely feasible for a DIYer. If you had like a transmission jack now, oh man, it would have been a lot smoother for sure. I had to use 2 jacks, and
Just, you know, really, now the difficult part is going to be to put it back together. That is, I'm dreading that right now, honestly. I'm really dreading that. Just to line it up properly so you can, you know, that is going to be a challenge. I already know. Got these locators here, I think 2, 3, 4. Hopefully it's not going to be, actually it's not even a locator, these are bolt holes. Right, so the locators are really shallow. If this is a locator right there, a little groove there, a little groove here, and this, but they're really shallow. So it really has to be dead on, basically, to mate properly, where you don't risk cross-threading or, you know, trying to mate it with a bolt and, you know, mess around and something bad happens, like breaking the bolt, because the weight of the transmission will just be on that one bolt. So anyhow, let me go take a break and I'll get back probably about half an hour to an hour, and once I clean up this whole mess, and we'll take it from there. And I'll show the process of removing this. Is pretty simple. One bolt there, one bolt on the other side. Take this out, put the new one in, bolt, bolt, boom, done. Put a little bit of that lube here, you know, around the shaft. Not too much here. You got to be really light on the shaft, really light on the splines here, and all that grease that comes with it. Or sometimes you just use your own, you know. So anyway, that is one aspect, and then we're gonna go on the other side there and check out what's going on. Actually, I don't even think I can work. Well, you know what? Let me bring this back down a little bit. So I can fit on the other side. I just want to look at the transmission myself. I mean the transmission, the clutch. The hell? I can't even see my glasses anymore. I don't know when them bad boys come. Oh, but I cannot anymore. Whoa! Now look at that clutch. Looking good, isn't it? I hope I didn't mess up my glasses in the process. I can't even see them anymore. But anyway, there you go. All right. Actually, the powder bearing doesn't look bad at all. I really don't know what was the problem. That noise. It might have been the throw up bearing then, I guess. Honestly, I really don't see anything really particular with this powder bearing. You know, you got that. It's a tapered bearing. You can see it. All right. When I come back, we're gonna use the wet. Paper method. I don't like to use bread. I think it's a waste. You know. Look at that. Now that is bad right there. Horrible. I'm going to take advantage of this actually to take out that oil switch, because the oil gauge is flickering, so I know it's going bad, but I'm not going to replace this. I'm just going to clean it out really nice. I think the oil, I don't know what it is, but maybe the oil getting into the connection, maybe, I don't know, because it's seeping oil bad in the back, as you can see. I need a valve cover job. That's my next project anyway. I'm just waiting to do everything one shot because I don't want to do it twice. So basically I want to replace, do a monitor tuner basically. So that's not going to happen unless I do everything one shot. So anyway, here we are. I mean, the pressure plate is rusty. I'm not sure if this is the original one. I wouldn't be able to tell. Maybe somebody can tell me, because I was missing one bolt at the top. So I figure somebody has been here before. But you can tell me if you know, by luck, if you think this is being replaced or not. But yeah, you had these two locators on either side. One of them longer than the other. Hopefully, like I said, I can mate it properly the first time. I just know it's going to be a challenge trying to use this two jack and trying to do that. Definitely, that's going to be a challenge, I can tell. Alright guys, see you in a bit.
All right, here we go. I gotta hold the light maybe somewhere. Hold on. Come on, stay, buddy. I got the key. This is from the new clutch. It's plastic. I mean, you know, some people have the metal ones. Supposedly it's better. So basically, it's gonna go in there. No, force it. Make sure the splines are engaged properly. All right. Once it's in there, all I gotta do now is take out these two bolts. I already took out most of the bolts. So I got one here. It's already loose. Basically, just gotta finish taking it off. Take the one. Actually, I'm gonna take the one bottom at the bottom first. Sorry, guys. I know camera is shaking, but I don't want this to fall on my hand. That would not be good. So I gotta do the smart thing here. All right, but anyway. So just to get your closer shot, take that bolt off. The keyway is inside of it, and there's a poly bolt there. Okay, now last one. What I'm gonna have to do is see if I can set this thing here. I'm gonna turn my finger. I'm waking up at this camera. Alright, well, anyway, guys, the idea being, alright, let me hold on to it. Take this last bolt. Okay, it's off. You still got the guides or dowel pins that's holding this whole assembly. So I'm gonna just put it off. That's pretty hard, pretty tight. Making sure I got all the bolts out, which I do. Right, I'm gonna take it apart and trying to pry it probably from here. Pry it up. And then I'll be back. You got it out. You have to pry it up. This thing was seized up, the pressure plate. You can see the marks on it. I mean, you know, weird thing about this whole situation, I think what happened was the person probably replaced the slave cylinder before, because this, I don't think has ever been touched. Look at the clutch, it's completely chewed up, it's gone, like gone. Look how thin it is, and cracked up everywhere, and just, you know, so that's the thing right there. So I'm going to change this flywheel. I got a new flywheel. My only thing is now I got to figure out how to take these bolts off, because it's going to spin the crank, and my impact is pretty weak right now. Batteries, I don't have the charge. Decisions. I'm going to figure out a way to block this thing. I don't know how, but I got to figure something out, because I don't have the tool to basically grab the crank pulley so it doesn't move. I definitely don't have that tool, so I need an impact. So I got to figure out. I'm gonna get it back. But in the meantime, also, well, I got to take that off. But I got to also clean out. You could see all of the oil residues and everything that's up there. All that crap there, you see it? I got to clean up all of these things, because you know it'll give you the impression that the rear main seal is leaking. I don't think it is. It's just leaking from the top there, from the valve cover. You can see from the back. And since the engine is kind of tilted to the back, and it's all just running down here and making a big old mess. You can see the crud right there at the bottom. See that? Yeah. Anyways, guys, I'll see you next shot. Okay. So, pilot bearings coming out. Was a bit of a struggle there. I'm using the method of wet paper instead of, like I said, bread, because I think it's kind of pretty evil. Unless you get some bread that's already expired. Other than that, to use fresh bread to do this job, that is kind of evil, if you ask me. People are starving all over the world. In fact, 70% of the world's population is living off $1 or under $1 a day. You know, 70%. In the United States, well, in the West, we're basically, what is it? We're like 5% of the world, but then we consume 65% of the world's resources. So what do you think about that, you know? The amount of wastage that we have in the West, it is unbelievable. And each and every one of us, we have to do our job, man. We have to, you know what I mean? Don't look at it like, you know what, hey, this little bit of bread, what difference is it going to make? Well, if you all have the same mentality, we never really get anywhere. So let's do our best. But anyway, basically use the wet paper. This was actually the packaging paper inside there, like for the cushion inside the box. Use some of it, put it inside the. Use one of these a bolt. It looks like a either cross member. I mean a subframe bolt, or maybe a I don't know what you call it, suspension bolt. It's pretty long, pretty thick. And that's it. Just keep whacking at it with a good hammer. It's almost out, all the way out. You see, all right, all the way out almost. And I'm gonna just keep whacking at it until it pops out, and that's it. And we're gonna replace it with the new one after we clean out the hole, make sure that all the paper is out. All right, guys. So catch you now on the next shot. Just wanted to show you that. Quick note here: how to put the clutch on. If you look at the clutch, there is a flat side, so to speak, and there is a side that has a step, if you will, you know, it protrudes. So the side that is flat goes on the flywheel. Actually, if you look at the clutch itself, right here where I put my finger at, if the camera will focus, you see that? Flywheel side. Alright? So you put your alignment tool in, right, just like so, and then you just slide in that hole right there. And that's what I'm getting ready to do. I need 2 hands because I don't want to drop the clutch. Alright, folks. Here we go. We got the clutch bolted and the flywheel and everything. Make sure that this tool is able to go inside smooth, you know, all the way. So, I said everything is lined up properly. See that? All right. So we're done for here. I mean, we're done here for now. So now I got to go back and do the slave cylinder and clean out the little bit of the housing, and that's about it. Then we'll come back and do the most difficult probably job. I'm not sure, but we'll see. To bolt this thing back on, only one person job. That's not easy, but hey, you know what, with God everything is easy. Thank you. Alright guys, battery is getting really low, so I know I have just a little bit more to show you here. So right there, I think it's a 10. Right there, another 10. So I got my long extension with a 10. This is the part number that you're going to want. So 2004 Ranger. This is from LUK. What's the part number? Where is that part number? Is that what it is? I'm not sure. I guess LAB02L. LAB02L. I think that's the part number. That's the same. I mean, mine wasn't, you know, leaking or nothing like that, as you can see. I mean, the bearing looks kind of rough. But yeah, so right now just gonna do a bit of cleaning up here. Sorry guys, I know I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep it steady here with you, but yeah, not easy. Come on, buddy. One hand. Come on, you could do it. One hand. Come on. Oh, come on. All right, guys. Yeah, my shoes are soaked in oil, transmission oil, from earlier when I spilled this mess. Anyhow, so I'm just gonna, you know, just a little bit of cleanup. I mean, this is gonna get dirty anyway, so it's not like I'm looking for anything crazy here. Just, you know, a little bit of. So I got it open. I might as well. You know what I'm saying? Little brush action here. Get some of the crud out if I can. Alright, let's get this one. I think it's better. What is this mess on top of this crap? What is this crap? Alright, guys. Here you go, my friend Inua.
Alaikum salam, my brother. Alright guys, we're back.